Come into your seated posture, or if it's available to you, half lotus, full lotus, or cross legs, or just simply sitting in a chair. Taking that deep breath in through the belly, so you focus on that space in between the eyebrows. Fill up the lungs, retain the breath for a second or two, and then slowly exhale. So you contract the ribs and let out the last bit of breath as you pull that belly button in towards the spine. Starting all over again, taking that deep breath in, filling up the lungs, retaining the breath, and then slowly exhale. Allowing each breath to get heavier and heavier as you sink into your meditation. Today we're going to hear some thoughts from Kathy Freston. She is a 4-time New York best-selling author. Her newest book is called The Quantum Wellness, but she was recently on Super Soul Sunday with Oprah Winfrey talking about the 8 pillars of wellness that are on her blog. In her book, she says that wellness is contingent on service to others and also our effect on the world, holding us accountable for bringing up the weakest link. She proceeds to say that conscious living is awakening to begin to understand that another's misery is our misery. So her first pillar is meditation. And she says it's a practice, and it doesn't have to be severe. She says it's basically just about being silent and present. And she advises, if you can't, practice for too long, then to use a mantra, such as I am here now, or I am peace, to just keep you focused. She says that about the practice, it doesn't have to be a long 20, 30-minute meditation. She says a minute will suffice. She says it's not about the length of time, but about the actual practice. And she gives the analogy of when you go to the gym, how, you won't really see the muscles enlarge and the waist get slimmer as you go. It's more about the practice and leaning in that gets you there. And that's how meditation is. So even though you sit and nothing comes to you, if you continue that practice, you'll slowly start to quiet the mind and allow little bits of inspiration and thought processes that may guide you down a different path, and so forth. Her second pillar is conscious eating. One of the most elemental, she says eating is one of the most elemental, fundamental things we do all day. She wants us to be curious about what chemicals, fertilizers, and other toxins were involved in the growing of the ingredients, whether cruelty and abuse is involved. And then in the end, she says it's not about deprivation, choosing to eat animal products, or choosing not to. It's about eating from a place of spiritual integrity. So she says, she goes on and she says, if she doesn't say, not to eat food or not to eat animals, but if you do eat animals, then, maybe try the grass-fed so that, there's not as much cruelty there and things like that. Her third pillar is visualization, setting up your mind to be able to imagine how you want to live your life. She said it's just like meditation, does not have to be severe. You can do it briefly. And she often has just flash visualizations, she says. The fourth pillar is fun. She says that some people need to remind themselves to have fun and that this brings levity to your life. The fifth pillar is self-worth. Socrates says, the unexamined life is not worth living. She says that you need to look inside and see what needs upgrading, see where we are stuck, because it's our responsibility to get unstuck. The sixth pillar is spiritual work, being around uplifting messages of hope, healing, and peace. And these messages help us guide us back to our larger purpose, she says. The seventh pillar is exercise. And again, she states here that it doesn't have to be a killer. A brisk walk 3 to 6 times a week. She says that exercise creates leaner and stronger body, and it also produces endorphins, which are great for a sense of well-being. And finally, the eighth pillar is service. She says service pushes awareness outside of oneself, outside of one's self-centered fear. So for her example, she gets to watch herself having an effect on someone else, which also produces those same endorphins and increases the sense of well-being. Those are the thoughts from Kathy Freston. Hopefully you've had a nice meditation, breathing, just listening to that breath. Now we're going to take that deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose as you wiggle those fingers, wiggle the toes. Take one more deep breath in through the nose. And slowly, on that exhale, gently open your eyes. Namaste.